Hi everyone, welcome back to Studioloo. It's Cindy and we are here for day 19 of Junk Journal January, and our prompt today is interactive. So you can find more info down below in the description box about this fun collaboration on YouTube. So what you'll need for today's project as a base is not a book page, is 12 by 12, either single-sided or kind of neutral-sided so that it can be written on paper, with kind of a background for something that you'll use. Like if you're using a focal point of a specific nature, you'll want your background to match it because we don't want to have to do a lot of work on our background. So I will use this piece of paper for my projects for today, I think. Then you also need either, if you want to use digitals, you can use paper dolls, and you can use other kind of clip art items that you could put in a background, because what we want to make is like a folding tag that has movement to it, and two, sort of a foreground, a background, and a middle ground. So I'm going to use this book, Hattie and the Fox by Mem Fox, and I'm going to try to use the illustrations from it and make something fun. So let's get started here. So I'm going to cut the branding strip off of this scrapbook paper. And then the width of your tag, it should be wide enough that anything that you fit on it will not go over the edges if possible. I'm going to go a little thicker. Now this tag is going to be a 6-inch tall tag by, let me see, how much did I cut here? Just a little over 4.5. One little notch past 4.5. Okay, so set our cutter aside. This is our back where the writing space will be. Okay, so let's fold it this way. And what we need to work with is this. So the first thing I need to do is come in here, and on the midsection, I'm going to create sort of a couple of lines about, let me just grab a ruler, let me tell you. 2 centimeters, actually let me do inches because you guys are inch people, most of you I'm sure. Probably a half. Let's say 3/4 actually, to be safe. Probably about 3/4 of an inch. Once you see what I'm doing, you can decide. The important thing here to know is you don't have to be exact in any way. So you're just trying to come into the middle here and come out a little bit. You don't even have to be perfect on the middle. Don't stress. Okay, so that's the first one. Then do a couple more, like you're going to do this little section. It's going to be half the width of what this one was. And then do the same over on the other side. Okay, no perfection required. Now this one, we're going to make it about 1 inch long. But this second one is going to be about probably 2 inches long. You'll see why these don't have to be perfect and why I'm not like using a ruler to cut. Okay, so what you're going to do now is take your scissors. Oops, let me pull this piece of paper off, and you're just going to cut here and here. Don't cut the top, leave this attached, but it's its own independent thing now. Then cut up again, same way. And you'll find with the scissors, you end up straightening your lines up a little. Okay, so now what we have is this. These are cut. You're going to then push this forward. Okay. And give it a bend. Push this one forward. And give it a bend. See how that's been bent forward like that? And then the third one, the same thing, push it forward, bring it straight down so that the whole little rectangle is in there and bent forward. So then what you should see are 3 gaps here, like so, okay? Then you've got this. So what you now have is something that has movement, and this surface, and this surface, you can attach something to. These 2 things will be in the background, or middle ground really, because this is your background, and whatever's here will be in your foreground, okay? Now on the back, because we want this to still be a tag and have writing space, this is what I'm going to do. I need a piece of paper. I'm just looking for something kind of matchy. I mean, you can also use the exact same paper to cover this, and then the whole thing will be like the same. I think though what I want to use is some good scraps. Let me grab a scrap. One sec. Sorry to leave you. I'm going to use some dyed lined paper. Just because I like how it looks. I think it makes the whole thing kind of fun. So I'm going to grab this. Give it a little fold. Just kind of make it sort of the equal width. Okay. And just kind of double check that it all fits on there, and it does. So what we're going to do is we're going to just not glue it to these 3 pieces that need to move. Okay, everything else is fine. You can glue it down to everything else. So I'm going to come in with glue stick just above. And then below. And on the sides, and then just in between. Okay. And stick it down, and you'll probably have to come in and just even it out because you probably didn't get your exact dimensions of your piece of paper. We were just kind of getting it put down, right? So let's just finish our gluing. Okay. Then we'll just pull these forward again, making sure that they're not glued, right? Because we need them. And we'll reinforce that fold because now that paper back there also needs to fold. So just kind of watch and bring everything back down again. Get rid of any glue here. Okay, all folded. Perfect. And then if you want to stitch around the edge of it, you can. I would recommend doing so now if you want to. I really don't feel like I need stitching on this so far. So now we need to find something for the background and the foreground. And the middle ground. If we want to do 3 layers, we can. So I'm going to create, hopefully, some kind of a cute farmy scene. So I've got this cute little hen house here. That could work. But I did see that there was this really funny... I like the pig. I like the sheep. The sheep might be a go. We could put the chicken in the background, or possibly the fox. let's just find our best option for foreground first. So I like the sheep at the back. That would probably also be cool. A cool pig. It's another smaller sheep. That would be good for a background. Because we need a couple little smaller things too, right? Okay. I'm going to pull out this page. And my first focus is just going to be cutting out my sheep. Okay. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to fussy cut this because I need it, and I will show you why. So first things first, I need to back it onto something a little more sturdy, and I've got a bit of folder here that's just scrap. Look. Okay. Oops, come along now. There we go. So let's get that cut out again, now that it's backed. Straighten that little ear out there. Come in a little closer on that one. Let's give a little more shaping. Okay. All right, so that's that piece. I'll just kind of flatten that out. Okay, so that is for that. Now we need, I think I would like to use maybe potentially one or two of these guys in the background. This one I might try to put in the middle ground. So I'm going to try to cut this goose. So let's set this aside and we'll glue this one down too. In the same way on a scrap. Except that I won't fussy cut it and then glue it and then re-fussy cut it. I'll just do the job once this time. Okay. These are such fun illustrations. Oh my gosh, I love them. And then again, I'm not going to fussy cut the leg gaps out because I'll show you something. So if I'm putting her on here, okay, this is going to get glued to there. So I need that little bit of leg gap to work with, and I'll probably put her, let me throw her there, yeah. Yeah, probably on that side. So she'll be in the background or the middle ground. This will be in the front. Okay, are you starting to understand what's happening here? Okay, so we need one more middle ground. We'll set those aside because they might come in handy. One more small middle ground thing. Like a tree would be good, or a small depiction of an animal. There's a tree. I don't know if I could cut it down into a good shape. Oh, here's another goose. Well, this could be perfect, actually. Let's take that. Take that page out. That over there. Oops. Okay, and cut around this goose. And I may have to just shorten her a little bit because I don't want her to go outside of the realm of my card. So now I just have to cut in the gap. All right, what's that? Okay, so now come back here. And I think I want to put her on here and her here. And that should work, I think. I don't know if the tails being underneath will impact anything. I don't think so. I think it should be fine. Where's my glue? Right here. Let's just give this a try here. So we're going to glue this bottom section of the fold because it's what's going to come forward. And you glue your goose to it or whatever you're putting there. Now it can only come down as far, as the fold. Hold on, let me explain that again. Let me just stick her on and then I'll show you. So your fold has to only be glued on that one little piece. Okay. And I'm also going to let the neck stick out a little from the side of the card and see if that matters. It might not. So if it doesn't, I'm not going to stress you about it. All right, so that one's on. Now we got to glue up this fold. That front fold gets the glue as well. And then we take the feet there, glue it together as well. Just going to fold it forward and smooth it down for a second. Okay, yeah, it seems like the tails being there doesn't really matter. I gotta pull this back out over them now and try again. Okay, good. Yep, everything's good. Now we need to glue this on. So we're going to glue this bigger front flap and put our sheep on there again. You're lining up the bottom of your image so that base of the grass with your flap. You can't go down onto this side of the paper. Everything has to line this way. You see that? Everything is flat and lined up. I'll bring it up so you can see. See the movement there? Show you from the side. Okay. So what we have now is this scene of two geese and a sheep. Okay. Now the background is quite busy for this. So what I'm going to do is actually use the natural landscape kind of that was in this book to just tame things down and have a little more fun. So the first thing I'll do is I want to take this horse actually. because he is really funny. I think it's a he horse. Okay. Around this face. Then around here. I don't think I'm going to be using the end of the horse, so we don't have to worry about his bum. Okay. So I don't know. Can this horse kind of come in and stand here? Because it looks like I've cut some of his belly off. So I think he can only do so to about here. And I'm going to cut the bottom off. And that can line up only to there, unless I cut it. I need to cut the groove. The same kind of a groove out here. There we go. So we got that about the exact size we need. Perfect. So let me glue him on, and then I'll show you how you can patch up like any parts of the book that we're missing. Okay. This is like a fun kind of collage exercise too. Like you'll be able to do multiple layers of fun collaging with this. So let's come in again and get the gap lined up back here, because that's sort of where I want to put my horse. Then we'll get him flat. Okay. Come in and just get the feet down. Needs a little more glue on that one. I'm sorry if you can't see all the little gaps. It's kind of hard to show you every little bit, but I'll explain in 1 second what I'm doing. So imagine right where this paper creases, right? That's where all my assets I'm putting down need to stop. They can't run off onto that next page unless I really glue them down well, because you don't want to impact the movement of this with anything. Okay, so it's still moving just fine. Everybody's okay. Now, this horse, maybe his belly looks a little weird. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't actually, now that I cut the excess off. But if it does, what I can do is take some of this green. This is right from the book, right? And then just come in and add, it's like a bush now, right? Like he's standing in a bit of a bush. He's coming from off out of frame. So just, now we cover up that weird tummy situation. There we go. And then we'll cut the excess of that off as well. Okay. Get rid of this sticky paper. Alrighty, good. Now, I'm tempted to put this hilarious pig in there, but I'm not going to. What else do we want to do? So if you want to, you can also, take a little more of the landscape, and you can continue down here at the bottom. See, because this is still a part of your foreground. Like you're able to use that space and collage that whole thing and just keep kind of building. Like you can put a frog in the grass, you can put whatever you want on here and just kind of keep going and going with it, and build a whole scene. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this down to add a little grass. And obviously you could use like light blue paper and green paper to have like the sky and the ground and make it really literal. But I like to make it a little more kind of jazzed up than that. So that's sort of side one there. And then I can come in with a little more shaping and just add like a bit of this ground with that piece of grass. And that could overlap, or do I want that on there? Don't I want that on there? That'd be kind of cool. Or do I want maybe a little more green? I'm gonna add a little more green, I think. So like another level of layer of green. I need to pull that back a bit. I don't like the hard line it created. There we go. So now we will glue this one down. And that will create that little level. Okay, and then let's see, do we want to use some of this like background here? Maybe I should have layered that behind the horse. That would have made a little more sense, right? Will that come up or no? Maybe it won't. It probably won't because it's already, yeah, it's really glued down. Okay, let's see what else the book has to offer. Obviously I could add that fox in there. He could be a bad boy in there too, but let me see. Is there anything sky? There is definitely this tree that would be kind of fun. Let's just give it a try. And I'm going to just tear it. And see if it adds anything there. We want a layer with a tree. Maybe, yeah. Okay, yeah, let's do that. And then we're going to need to put something at the back, and I have an idea for that too. You'll see like how you can kind of build your layers to make them sensible. It's actually quite fun. It's almost like, you know, how you would work on illustrating a book, like just smooth that out. Now we've got this little gap with the tree that looks awkward back here. So I'm thinking my pig is facing the wrong direction. I can't add him there, but I could add him in front of the horse, sort of standing behind there. I'm thinking about that too a little bit, but I don't know. Let me see if I cut out the top of him, how he would look there. I gotta cut off his little tail, unfortunately. It's just not gonna be in there. And we gotta cut more of this away. I like that. Yeah, let's do it. Okay. All right. So we'll add him there too. We need the whole farm. He's going to be standing there. Okay. Good. Good. Now we just need to deal with this, and I think we could do this with maybe this bad fox back here. Okay, let's tear the bottom off that. And then we need to cut out the gap. Need to rip that down a little bit more because it's still trying to get inside there. We don't want that. Okay, and then we will tear around his ears more. Let me see if I need, how much of that I need. No, that's probably good right like that. Okay. So, I need to cut the bottom off here to make them fit. And you'll see this is just like a little bit of, you know, adjusting and kind of wiggling your paper around and seeing how it all goes. Okay. So just line up this gap now. This way a little bit. Pull this away a little bit. There we go. And you'll see how there's a little bit there. See, I got to pull that away because it's interfering with that center piece of paper. It's okay. Got them. And then we'll cut away the excess from the fox. You know, I'm making this way more probably layered than you even have to. I have fun with it. I think it's a lot of fun to just sit and do this kind of thing. Okay, so sheepy is here. Geese are here. Everybody's here. Nice. All right. So what else do we want to do? You know, you obviously can create more of a scene down here. You could put another little animal here. You know, you can add more stuff like this to the foreground. You could even add a little bit of paper there for more journaling right on the front. It's up to you. I am happy with this. Now, as you can see, I've got this and this kind of running out of the card. Does that matter to you? If it does, don't do it then. Like, you know, bring her closer in. Don't cut something as wide. It doesn't bother me, to be honest. Now, when this tucks into a pocket, obviously, if I'm going to do it that way, I would, you know, need to make the pocket wide enough to fit it in there. Or, you know, the other thing too is this in itself, as you have it laying down, you can glue this backside here and here, and that could be a pocket. So you could actually like put something, you know, if this is your book, you glue it there, and then this would be a pocket, and then it would also be a pop-up, and then it would also be journal space, or you could embellish this side. It's completely up to you. What I think I'm gonna do also is to decide, do I want to cut it into a tag shape? Yeah, I mean, I think I will, just because we've been making tags. I'll cut the top into a tag shape for the fun of it. And then I do think I'm also going to stitch around it. So I'll go do that in a moment. But first, I just want to look, are there any good words that could kind of help me build this story a little bit more? And they were also surprised that none of them said anything for a long time. I think that is actually quite funny. So I think I'll use that. Stand up that glue bottle. And obviously you have lots of options where, you know, I could put it here. That's fun. I can put it back on the back up here, or, you know, on the back down here. So lots of options. Where I think I might put it is maybe here. And I'm going to put it this way because that will keep the flexibility of me wanting to use it as like a tag shaped pocket or a tag itself. But I'm just going to add it at the bottom there so it's nice, and all sorts of possibilities exist. And I also think it breaks up the line between the scrapbook paper backing and the lined paper that I added. So let me go and stitch around it, and then I think we'll ink it up a little and I'll show you the final product. All right, so I've done kind of a wonky zigzag stitch around, and what I want to do now is take a little bit of just black distress ink, and I'm going to just distress the, whoopsies, picked up a little collection of threads there, just the edges of the animals on the 3 tabs. Give them like a little bit of shadowing so that they stand up and out from that background. And you don't have to do the whole entire thing. It's not like really pressing. But you'll see the difference in this goose versus that goose, right? You can see she's outlined. So let's outline this one. And I will pop a picture, maybe a video on Instagram of this one, because I know it's one that maybe you might want to look a little closer at to see how the end product looks. And I get it. Let's try to bring her forward for a moment. This is a little flexible. Just be, gentle so you don't tear it. But you can, manipulate them around each other. And then definitely, excuse me, our sheepy in the front here. Okay. There we go. I think that's good. And then I may also just do the edge of the card to just kind of bring this all together. It's always harder to ink when you've already stitched. I like to do that first usually, but this is fine. Okay. Get rid of this so I don't get black ink everywhere. Excuse me. Oy, I have allergies today. Okay, so here we go. There is our interactive little kind of pop-up tag. I think that's lots of fun. We've played with layering and a foreground, middle ground, and background. So yeah, let me know what you think and give it a try. It's pretty easy and quite interactive and fun for the time that I spent doing it, I think. It'd be even faster if you were using die cuts or something or Tim Holtz dolls or something that ephemera that was pre-made for you. So until next time, thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.